Okay. Hi, guys. Welcome to the Audacity of Women Journaling for Healing and Clarity. This event has had its ups and downs because it started off wanting to inspire women to release a lot of their emotions, to release tension, things that they're struggling with,
Yes.
goal planning, all these things. But in reality, your journal is the only place you can be honest with yourself, especially when you are being tested and you want to just understand how to better navigate things to be the better person that you're trying to become. Okay. My
Mhm.
name is Jasa. I am the owner of Audacity of Women. Audacity of Women is everything to me. I'm just going to be honest. I have done so many different platforms. I have tried different names. I've tried different missions and visions, but ultimately, I have always had the audacity to do things that people didn't expect. I am not perfect. I am healing. I am growing, but Audacity of Women is it is the understanding of womanhood. It's just understanding that there's never going to be a moment that is laid out for us. There's never going to be a moment that makes sense. It is just always your experience, and having the audacity to just be you is exactly what it stands for me. Today we are going to have our introductions. Julissa, here you go with your questions. Yes, I will answer that. Today we're going to go over the introduction, journaling for healing, releasing and processing emotions. Journaling for clarity and growth is actually going to be personal growth. And then we're going to end with a Q&A and just like closing reflection. Jaleesa's question was, what does audacity of women mean to me? Um, or audacity mean to me? Ooh, audacity for me, I can go on a long ramble, but I would say it is just doing the things that people told you not to, or limiting yourself. I know for me growing up, I would say all the things I wanted to do. Like I was going to be a fashion designer, I was going to be a writer, I was going to be an attorney, I was going to be an author. And everyone was like, well, you have to pick one, especially going to college. You have to pick one. You have to pick one. What are you going to do? What's going to make money? Absolutely not. I am an author. I have a criminal justice degree. I'm about to be a counselor with my second master's. I have taught, I was a teacher for 2 years. I have a business. I do all these things because I don't know if I'm a fashion designer, y'all. I know I skipped that one, but I love so many things. I love to create. I'm more in the digital marketing. That's my jam. But having the audacity is just saying, absolutely not. I don't fit the mold. I will not fit the mold, and you're not going to force me to. So have the audacity. I have the audacity. So that's what I share with everyone around me. So yes, okay. Thank you, Janisa. All right. Today's special guest, her name is Shakila Forrester. I am super excited to bring her to this event just because we connect more on the writing side. I am super excited for her to finally, hopefully, share her drop of her project. I'm not gonna say nothing, but this is her pressure. And I hope this puts her in the encouragement to really drop it and release it and share her writing experiences with you guys. But without further ado, please introduce yourself. Let me get to your slide.
Thank you for that lovely introduction, Jaisha, that pressure. So, my name is Shakila Forrester. I go by Shy. I am the co-founder of Together We Build Financials, and my purpose in life has really evolved over time, really. I started off in the restaurant space, cooking for people, building restaurants and growing them to be profitable. And I loved everything about it, but it just didn't allow me to help people in the way that I thought that God wanted me to. And so I was introduced to the life insurance and retirement space. And even that in itself has actually evolved into the things that I actually do now. And so I want to really help people dig deep into what it is that they want out of life, and help them build it. That's why that's our name, because I realized that if you can help someone build their life, God will help you build yours. And I really believe that that is what my purpose is, to help people build the life and protect the life that they are building for themselves in a way that in our communities we just don't talk about enough. And so I want people to be able to walk through life boldly, walk through it confidently, and be able to build that for themselves. And that's why I mentor agents and I talk to communities and things like that. What Jasha was speaking on is I have the biggest love for writing. I love, love, love to write. I love everything about it. I love creating. And sometimes I have to actually just put pen to paper and get things out. And so, in doing that, I realized like I'm gonna have a newsletter and I'm gonna actually release the newsletter to people for encouragement, for empowerment, for people to really understand what it is they want out of life. And so, help reach more people in that aspect and kind of share some of my gifts. And so, she put me on blast.
Always will, friend. We got stuff to do. I love that. No, we definitely appreciate you being here and sharing your gifts. We obviously cannot wait to hear your input on your section, but let's jump in. Okay.
Yeah.
So, the power of journaling for healing, right?
Yeah.
Before we get started, you guys can put in the chat, you can come off mic, whatever you choose. But what does healing look like or mean to you? And I guess if while we're waiting, no one wants to come off mic, Shy, do you have an answer?
I would say that healing looks to me like growth.
Mhm,
Growing through things that you thought was holding you back, growing through things that mentally is holding you down, growing through things that scare you, and actually letting go of things and people that hurt you or done you wrong or something like that. Because true healing is really finding out how to live your life unapologetically
mhm,
and heal from the things that have hurt you,
mhm.
letting go of those things, not carrying it.
I
So yeah.
love that. Okay. Ditto. Love, love. Anybody else want to drop their opinion? Yes, of course. I think it's her. Okay, take it. I guess for me, healing would really mimic what you're saying. I don't think it has bounds. I
Mm-mm.
agree with you. It's just growth. It's
Yeah.
understanding what it looks like for you, being very self-aware, um, understanding that it may be small, sometimes it's big, sometimes it hurts. Um, but it's just growth. I love your explanation. I think there is no other way to get around that. It's just growth.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's it. Healing is
Sure.
not pretty. Okay.
If it is, honestly, I will say this. If your healing looks pretty, you actually aren't healing, you're shielding.
Exactly. They hiding that thing
You're
away, put it in a
hiding it. You're
box.
hiding it.
Hmm.
You're not going through it.
Hmm. And that's, ooh, okay, hold on to that because I don't think it's in this slide, y'all. This will happen a lot with our events. If it aligns, we're going to talk about it,
Yep.
okay? So, the power of journaling for healing, right?
Mhm.
Emotional healing and mental clarity. So for this section, I want to share a little bit about myself, um, and kind of give you guys an image. And I want you guys to think about your own experiences in connection to your emotional healing and mental clarity. Okay. So, emotionally speaking, I have been in various situations in my 27 years that has made me question the people around me, question my abilities as a person, but more importantly, as a woman. And I think the biggest challenge that I faced in this journey has been becoming a mother. Women will talk about it all the time, of course. Oh, motherhood is so hard, it's so challenging, it changes your life. But I don't think we hear it talked about enough when it comes to our individual value. I've shared this before. I will continue to share it until I understand it a little bit better. But right now, I understand that having my child took me out of I am Jasa with all these accomplishments, all these tangible values, to now I'm a mom. I was stripped of my career. I was stripped of my business title because financially that had to be on hold. But I underwent this reconstruction that made me feel less than, that I was searching for value in my husband. Not that that's the worst thing in the world, but I was looking for him to make me feel as though I was still connected to this life that we created before my child. Um, and I can say emotionally, y'all, down, just completely distraught. I had no idea what my narrative was going to be anymore. I had no understanding of who I was. I had no more tangible. I was at home. And I think that was a big thing for me when it connected to my mental clarity. It took me completely being at the bottom, having to be alone because my husband worked overnight, having to be with this child that I created and didn't know what to do with. Like, who teaches you how to be a mom? Like, there's just no blueprint for it. But I went through all of these emotional ups and downs in my first phase and a complete mental drop trying to figure out where I was going to lead next. So, removing all my expectations, removing all my boundaries that I've set for myself from my previous life, meaning before I was a mom, before I was a wife. And the clarity came. You know, the understanding of how I felt about myself and my situation came. And I think a big thing that comes with journaling, it doesn't always have to be written down. Sometimes you can journal mentally, you can journal within your head, you can sit there and just think about all these things. But journaling is just getting a way to organize your thoughts, put it out there, get it out of that box that you're holding because you're not ready to deal with it, and truly understand how you're going to unpack, how are you going to organize this new life and challenges. All of that to say, for me, it took me really being able to face how I felt about myself, how I felt about this new life, to completely dropping off to here it is. You know, this is what you feel. You are sad. You do feel less than. You do feel insecure. You do have a new body you got to put together. You have to change how you eat. You have to change your routine, and it's okay. But I think as women, we get in this mindset of do all the work to organize our lives, to make sure that we know the plan for A and B, because we can't do stuff last minute. We're very proactive people, human beings. We have to understand to make sure that we're protecting what we've created. And after a while, when changes start to hit you, that clarity is gone. Your emotional stability is gone. So, being able to journal for me was not to jump on a trend of 30 days. It was not to get in this mindset of, oh, yeah, I want to be in the journaling crew. I want to be able to say, this is the new prompt I have for myself. Absolutely not. It was to better understand what I needed for myself to get back on the horse, to understand how I felt about myself again, to understand how I can be a quality mother while also shedding all of those things that I had in the background that I didn't want to acknowledge with my husband and myself. Anyway, a little story about me. When it comes to emotional healing and mental clarity, I want you guys to share in the chat, if you feel comfortable, one thing that was very emotional for you that you went through that you really had to take a deep dive in, or something that requires you to be completely clear before you can take your next step mentally. Either one. If anybody wants to come on mic and kind of share what you think on your emotional or mental side, I'd love to hear. That would be amazing.
I can share. Can you
Okay.
guys hear me?
Yes, go
Yes.
ahead.
Okay. I was like, I was gonna try typing it, but I was like, that would be a whole paragraph. So I was like, I can share really quickly. I think for myself too, when it comes to like healing, like even as a young adult, there are many things like to life that you got to learn, and it takes time, and it's a process. I think so
Mhm.
far I've been learning that everything is a process, but there has been a lot. I'm not gonna lie, from the past couple years personally within myself, and I think forgiving others in my family, but
Mhm.
also even the losses that I took. I think last year was actually my first loss in my family of an intermediate family member, which was my grandmother, right? And it wasn't just a loss of my grandmother, but also my brother at the same time because he had ended up, going to juvenile. And more than myself, I saw a lot of, reflection of the things I was going through in my mother. And more so that healing wasn't it was more so of a healing process and understanding like why all these things were happening. I think it's so hard to understand sometimes when you're like the things that you're going through. It's like when you're going through something hard, you're just going through it, like you're just like, "Dang, I'm just going through it," like, but you don't really understand like that maybe this is what needs to happen in this time so that as a person I can grow as well too, build
Yep.
character and persevere. And all of that is important while you're going through some the healing process is not going to be, like you said, it's not tomorrow. It's a journey, it's growing through it what actually helps you shape who you are. So once you get through it, then that helps you, like, when you come out on the other side, you're like, dang, okay, like, all these things now you learn about yourself. And I'm still going through that process as well too. But even with like my engagement, all of that at a young age, being engaged and kind of moving out at a young age, and everything was good and everything failed. And it's like my mom was like, I told you. like I was like, please help me. Let me move back in. She's like, girl, nah, I told you. I just need time. I just need time. And when I moved back moved back in with her is when I saw like this healing process is starting for me personally. And so that's when I start to and I really enjoy times like these events, because you really see how everyone has their own healing process. We're all going through it too, but we're here to help each other. So thank you. Thank you guys for all like being here. I'm really enjoying it. Thank you for allowing me to share.
I love that. That is so funny. I saw Brittany, you put, where was it? Where'd it go? Marriage and business.
Yeah,
Yes.
I can elaborate on that. I
Yes,
was like,
please.
oh, well, should I talk or should I just put it in a chat? But yes, first I just want to edify and honor Jaisha. You are a gorgeous girl. I'm such a like person who loves to love on our people and our women and our just what you're doing. So thank you so much for this platform. This is amazing. I also want to honor my friend Shy and Jaleesa because they're the one that said, you know what, come to my event. So this has been amazing. And I give honor to most importantly God, because as you guys are sitting, or you ladies are sitting here talking, I'm just like, wow, it's so amazing what God has put me in, because I prayed for this when it comes to the people that I surround myself with, because of the emotional roller coaster that I have been going through. And I said marriage and business because change for me in my emotional journey was definitely very hard for me. And I'll say that because I remember before I was even thinking about marriage, or even, I mean, I always thought about I need someone. Let me take that back. Or always wanted someone on the side of me. But the way I was searching for that was very in a place of like not healing, right? And so I would just go through the next phase, go through the next relationship, and think that that was going to help with someone there, until change started really hitting me. And that was just in business and growth in my walk with Christ, and coming to Christ and him really, the prayers are starting to be answered, because I start seeing these, I didn't understand what it was at first, honestly, but now as I was kind of seeing the process now, I'm like, wow, those were the layers that I was just literally going through the emotions and journey of life. And so when I was able to kind of, because people always said, Brittany, you need to journal, but I never did. But I would buy all these journals. Jason, if you seen, you would be like, oh my gosh. Because when I tell you I got so much journals, I can never say that I don't have a journal. But I still just was like, yeah, I'll do it one day. Oh, this is cute. And I'll get all these journals, but I never took the time to just let and write it down and just really explain or express the things that I was going through. But in that journey, what I found out when I married my husband is, you're taking now what we always would hear is the baggage over to another relationship. And I had to really I guess face that for myself, right? And through that first year, because we only been married a year and a half now, I've noticed how much it was so like changing myself individual, but then I'm having to share it with another person, another human at the same time, and him not even understanding why is it so difficult for you to love me, me to love you. And I always blamed it because we married so fast. I always blamed it because you got me when I was in an emotional state. And now here we go. Like, and just trying to process all of it. And then coming to the realization that now not only am I married, but I'm also keep in this business that I am in now, which is life insurance and retirement, and learning how to actually be a business owner. Because what I've also did is serial entrepreneur, like meaning like I mean I love the audacity. I do have the audacity, don't get me wrong, especially when you said fashion, because girl, let me tell you. But just knowing, okay, Britt, what do you want to do? And that thing you want to focus on is the thing that you want to run with. And I didn't know, but I really believed it was because I was on this emotional roller coaster of just being seen, just being heard, for somebody to hear me, see me, and need me, right? And so I kept in in this business when my husband got here, and he started showing me, if you really want this, he fought back. But what showed me the light is just me being able to go through these emotional um, roller coasters of, okay, Britt, it's time to put action into the growth that you've been obviously planning your heels in this business. And you said, okay, if I were to pick anything, it would be this. Why? Because it's impactful. I know it's God sent. I know I didn't put it in a vision board for no reason when I first even got into the company. And so really just owning that and saying, you know what, Brittany, you can do it. You can be everything you want to be in this company, but you have to want it for yourself. And so I will end this by saying, when it came to my healing process, I definitely had a journey, but I'm learning myself and I'm learning what Brittany wants. I'm learning what she wants first so I can show up for everybody else, because I think that is the biggest important part of healing in the journey, because I really believe that you have to heal within and not hold it in and express it and have a circle like you ladies, or a community and someone, and of course God, to pray through, to go through, to understand who you are so that you can heal and move forward. And so thank you so much for your time and me kind of elaborating on that. Thank you so much.
Oh, I love that. Everything y'all said resonated with me. Shy, did you want to add anything before I say my piece? You
Girl,
good?
I'll talk later.
I got you. Okay, so we gonna jump right into things that both of you said. So, first of all, I've been married twice. This is my second marriage. My lovely mother-in-law is on the call. So this is gonna be a full open conversation, but I understand that. I married my first husband to get away from my mother. I married because I was in a very toxic environment. And I married that person that wasn't for me. I was in a position where I had to realize, okay, same thing, you're in a cycle. You're just trying to run, you're trying to hide, you're trying to feel safe. My first husband was stable. So it was just like, okay, a great decision. Perfect person. As a human being, I just don't like to talk down on people. So I can't say anything against him as a person because we were friends first. But it's to understand someone in a marriage space, everybody's not for you. And that was my first big experience with myself. Understanding that, yes, people may check off boxes that everyone else expects you to have, but that does not mean it's where you need to be. And spending that time in that space, being married young, doing it straight out of college, trying to figure out where you're going to go, trying to figure out what is your life going to look like. He took care of me. I had no money to my name. And when it was time to go, it was time to go. And having to pick between nowhere to go and back home to my mother was another experience for myself that I had to understand. It was hard. I had jumped back into the pool of toxic behavior, not honoring myself, not communicating with people that actually cared for me. I remember losing friends because they're like, we just can't stand your mama. I will never go. And I'm just like, oh, okay. And I would defend my mom to the death. Any mama's girls, you can't say anything about my mom. You just couldn't. But here I am married to my husband who is my opposite, but is my parallel. That is my friend. And I say this in the way that I will probably never tell him to his face. We are so much alike, but we are so opposite. We're so opposite. He is just honest with himself, and he's true to who he is and how he's going to be towards people and situations. And I remember some of the first conversations we had, he's just like, you just gonna let them talk to you like that? And I'm just like, well, what do you mean? What do you mean? They're my family. They're supposed to have this space. I have to deal with it. And here I am, we're 3 years in, and I have removed myself from those environments. I have held myself to the same standard I have expected other people to hold themselves to. And it is such a turn. And the reason I stand on sometimes you don't have to journal on paper is because I am the same way, Brittany. I got a bucket of journals. I haven't written in any of them, and Jaleesa will tell you, because we have a pack that I can't buy a new one until I feel one. But sometimes it's hard to see it. I don't want to see it on paper. I don't want to be reminded of the feelings I have. I just want to understand, okay, I can acknowledge, I can reflect, and I can adjust. That's where I'm at with a lot of things that I experience. And I think the biggest thing I've always hated when people say, go journal, go journal. What? What do you want me to journal? Tears today? What do you want me to what do you want me to journal? It's hard. And it's not something that is made a trend. It's not a 30-day challenge. It's something you have to say, you know what, today. Today's the day. I have something to say. I have feel something. Let me jump into it. So where does this bring us? Right? I can ramble, y'all. That is what you will learn about me. I will ramble. But ultimately, what are the types of journaling that is actually beneficial? My personal thought, nothing I say is expert, but it is going to be my personal opinion. Please remove the challenges. Please do not find you a 30-day challenge. Please do not generate a list of just crazy random prompts. Find you something that actually pertains to what you're trying to get to. For me, it's changing the narrative. I've allowed other people to construct my narrative for so many years. I don't know what I like. I don't know what makes me happy. I don't know what makes me cry. I know what triggers me. I've understood that. But when you're trying to change the narrative, you need to know what the opposite of that is. So I would say changing the narrative should be something you write about. If you're in your day and you find, okay, this person triggered me today, what did they do? What reaction did you have when you were triggered? Who is that person? Write their name down, because it's not saying I'm going to blame you for the rest of my life, but it is acknowledging, okay, I am putting this situation on hold, and I need to understand what our relationship is going to be. To what extent did you trigger me? Is this something that just happens, or is it something that I can deal with and we can, move through? For me personally, I have a very hard time understanding that that's just the way that person is. I've never been that person. I have never been the person to accept that's just how they are. You got to accept them. I will probably never be, just because the same way I had to grow, and I expect people around me to grow and adapt and be more mature. That's just where my standards will always stand. But that doesn't change the fact that you control that narrative. So change it. Shadow work, I have gotten more comfortable with it. I know a lot of people have their different opinions. Some people think it's ritual based and it's witchcraft. It's not, baby. It's stuff that pertains to your past life. And past life can be childhood. That's what I think of it as. Your childhood. How did you grow up? Your self-conscious, stuff like that. Really working on your more deep dive type of way, break it down, counseling style. Okay. So that's what that would be. If you do prompts, I would suggest that. Find you a set of questions that allow you to internalize those types of conversations. So something that I came across was, guys, I'm sorry. If you could, which I think this is more a common one that's coming to mind now, if you could write a letter to your younger self, what would you say? Right? But mine would be picking a memory that plays over and over in my head as a kid and having a conversation with that younger self. I think when we have it too broad, it's easy. You can write, I wish you would have played more. I wish you were more of a kid. I wish you would have just pushed back and wore that outfit that you loved in high school. No, it's an excuse. It is a cop out. Absolutely not. Pick it up. Pick that battle that plays over and over in your head, because it's your time to get rid of it. And then gratitude. This one, I will say, it's not for every situation. It's not for everybody. But sometimes you have to feel good about the things that you've done. You have to give back to yourself. And I think as women as a whole, we have such a hard time. Like I said in the beginning, we're always trying to plan. We're trying to make sure we check all the boxes. We're trying to make sure we're being proactive because we don't know what's coming down the line. Sometimes we got to focus on the good things. We got to have gratitude and be grateful, y'all. Just find those moments. Take 10 minutes, whether it's a day, whether it's a week, whether it's every other week. Pick your time to be grateful for what you've done for yourself. Stop trying to find ways to include everybody else, trying to make sure everyone else gets that praise and love, and focus on yourself. So those would be my techniques when it comes to journaling for healing. But enough of my rambling. Quick little activity for you guys, okay? What is one truth that you've been holding back from yourself or others? And how would it feel to release it in a way that brings you peace instead of pain? And you can write it on your paper. You can drop like a few bullet points in the chat. You can come off. We could talk about it, whichever feels good for y'all. I'm going to let y'all have that time to do it. But that is our interactive activity. Everybody looking for paper? Love, love, love. Here, let me get the. Now I need to find the music, y'all. Lisa, can you press play on that jazz music button on the side? There's some type of jam. Let me see what you got. All right, I'm gonna give everybody like 2 minutes, y'all, and then you guys will have access to it. Okay, come on.
Y'all gonna have me a little emotional here. I just got emotional. I'm just
No, trust me, same. We in the same. I love it.
It won't let me do it because I'm sharing.
That's so ghetto.
I got you.
Okay. Probably should have planned this part out, huh? It's something about that size screen. I love it. I can sing, y'all. That was some Jodeci. It's crazy when you say it and nothing comes to mind. The words.
Nope. Singing ain't your ministry.
I can do a little dance song. Let's ring. Clear. Okay, let's get it. I love it. All right, I'm gonna shut up, y'all. Don't get focused. Oh, heavens. Shy, you next. You ready? Company. It's company. All right, I'm gonna give you guys like 1 more minute. On y'all's time. On your time. On your time. Don't laugh. You know who I am. All right. 5:47. I'm gonna go ahead and pass it on over to Shy so we can jump into this next section. Oh, please don't worry. Okay. Ready? Are you ready?
So releasing and processing. She really talked about, and I love that Jaisha talked about like, what is it? What is journaling? How to journal? What are we journaling about, right? But really releasing what it is that's troubling you for that healing, processing, and then ultimately letting it go, right? And so, how many of us have ever felt emotions and we didn't know what to do with them? right? I feel like everybody's like that. You feel happy sometimes and sad sometimes, and sometimes we're angry and sometimes we're emotional and we don't know what emotion is going on. Um, and a lot of times we don't know what to do with them, or we feel like we should be able to just get rid of them. And ultimately, that's not what it is. Emotions really are triggers for what's going on with you. So maybe something happens, you're talking to somebody or you're dealing with something and you get angry and you're like, why am I angry all of a sudden? They crossed a boundary. They crossed a boundary. Like anger reflects when we have set a boundary or we need to set a boundary and it was crossed. That's the best way I can tell you to kind of understand what your emotions are, because all emotions have some type of backlog of what they actually mean. So when you feel joy, when you feel like real happiness, true happiness, a lot of times it's because you're probably more aligned with what you think life should be and should feel like in those moments than anything else. And so we often feel like, dang, I wish I could feel like that all the time, but we don't do enough of those things. We don't do enough of it. Or you start to feel sad. You start to feel what we call emotional, but we don't put a name to it. And so I challenge all of us to start putting names to our emotions, how we're feeling in those moments. Put a name to it, put a title on it, because you need to know exactly how certain things make you feel so that you can process it and then let it go or feel it again. And if you don't start naming those emotions and you're like, oh, it's just making me emotional, you don't know how to get back there or get away from there. And that's often the issue, right? Um, I will always say that journaling is actually the best way to release things. um, I actually started writing because there was things that had happened to me in my past that I needed to let go of. I needed to not just let go of, but I needed to get it out, because oftentimes we talk to people about things, but we don't tell them all of it. There's pieces of it that we hold for ourselves. There's pieces of it that we don't feel comfortable sharing. Either we're embarrassed by it, we feel like we shouldn't have made those decisions, or we feel like this shouldn't have came out this way, or things like that. Whatever it is that's kind of keeping you in that space, we often we hold that in. But how many times have some of us gone to bed at night and can't go to sleep because our mind is racing? How often do are we in a room and we feel alone? You in a room full of people and you feel completely by yourself. That's some things that needs to be worked out that you haven't worked out. Right? There's some things that you're holding on to, traumas that you're holding on to, emotions that we're holding on to that we should not be holding close to our hearts so much. We got to let those go. And so I actually told Jaysha, months ago, I was like, I'm gonna write a book. And she's like, write it, friend. And so I actually did. I started writing, and what it gave me was it gave me the freedom to completely tell my truth the way I see it in my eyes. Not the way that society feels like I should tell it, not the way that makes anybody in the story comfortable, not the way that I feel like paints me in the best light, but just the raw, honest truth of what has ever happened in my life, or that I've ever gone through. I tell people all the time, I feel like I have lived 3 or 4 different lives. Um, and if you ever like, if I ever tell you my story completely in its entirety, you probably will feel the same way. Like, oh, you done been through some stuff, and you probably got enough going on for several different people. But the reality of that is I probably still carried a lot of that stuff up until maybe a half a year ago, 6 to 12 months ago, I was still carrying a lot of that. And if you don't grow through it, work through it, it stays. And it will come out in different ways. It's going to come out in different ways. So when we're angry about something, most of the time it's not even the person that's in front of us that we're angry with. It probably just reminds us of a space that we were in before that really bothered us, really hurt us. Or we created a boundary years ago that we actually allow people to cross often. You know, how often do you create a boundary that people regularly cross? Right? Like you, too much, too much, too much. Um, I will say the best way to release something is to write it out, get it out, voice note it, record it, however it comes out. I think when I talk to people and I talk to them about healing and growing and things like that, the best advice I can give you, get a piece of paper and whatever is on your mind, get it out. Don't worry about if it's spelled right. Don't worry about if it comes out correctly. Don't worry about if anybody else can be able to read it. Don't worry about if it's pretty or anything like that, because real healing doesn't look pretty. Real healing isn't pretty. It's not, there's nothing pretty about growing through things that actually have set you back in your life. There's nothing pretty about it, right? And so writing poems, letters, pictures, numbers, anything can actually help you grow in a way and allow you that release. I've actually done this several times. What I often like to do is write like I'm talking to God. I like to write in a journal like I'm talking to whoever hurt me. And, if I'm remembering a memory of something, I write it out like I'm talking to that person. They may never read it. They may never read it, but that's okay because I got it out. You got it out. So write it, burn it. Write it and burn it. I have found that if you write something down and either throw it away or burn it, some people actually like to wash it in the river, like release it into the river. If you do that, you're now saying, I'm putting this down. Oftentimes we talk about God. We talk about God and we talk about having faith and things like that. But how often do we pray to him and then pick it back up? How often do you say, God, I need you to help me get through it. I need you to do this. I need you to do that. And you're not actually getting through it. You're holding on to it and you haven't released it yet. And now you're wondering why he hasn't actually been able to work that problem out. You're asking him to fix something you haven't fully given him. And so I always encourage people to write it down, seal it up, burn it, throw it away, but let it go. Let it go. Get it all out and then let it go. You prayed the prayer. Now you gotta work, you gotta have faith that the prayer is gonna come true and that whatever is troubling you will be behind you soon. And walk like it's done. Walk through life like it's done. Go through things. Yes, it's going to be hard, but go through it and actually let it go, and so that it can actually be released. So what does releasing actually look like? What does releasing look like? Maybe releasing looks like you journaling every day in the morning when you wake up. Maybe that's what it looks like, giving yourself that time before you give yourself to other people. Before we give, I'm a wife, and hopefully, prayerfully, soon to be mother. I'm a friend. I'm a businesswoman. I'm a coach to somebody. I'm a sister to siblings. I'm the oldest daughter to parents, and and so a lot of times we wake up in the morning and there's already somebody calling our name. There's already something that's actually that's taking us away from ourselves. And so we have to give so much, but what are you pouring back into yourself? And so take 20 minutes, take 10 minutes, take 5 in the morning and write your thoughts out. However you're feeling that morning. However, if it does not have to be pretty. Some mornings I wake up and I be like, Lord, I want to go back to sleep. That's fair. I'm not going to go back to sleep, but maybe that's what I want to do. And so being honest with yourself and truthful does not hurt you or anybody else. It does not, don't make it, it's not, don't feel guilty about it. Don't feel burdened with it. You feel how you feel and you have to just process it. But you don't process it by keeping it in. You don't. No matter who tells you whatever, don't process anything by keeping it in. You have to find some type of outlet of doing that. I find it in writing. I find it in helping others, and reading and listening to music and things like that. You have to find something that's going to allow you to get those things out. So when you go to the bathroom in the morning, maybe take your journal with you. Maybe take your phone with you. Right? Have a quick voice note. That man slept next to me last night and his body was so hot I sweated. And now I'm mad because I got to take a shower. Like, whatever it is, whatever it is. True story, guys. True story. Um, but whatever that looks like for you, I just encourage you to find different ways to have time for yourself, because if you don't have time for yourself, God will make you have time for yourself. And it will come in the form of sickness. It will come in the form of body fatigue. It will come in the form of everybody canceling on you. Everybody canceling on you. It will come in the form of business not going well. It will come in the form of life just not going, work's not going well. All these different things will happen because a lot of times you're not actually giving yourself space to be with yourself and process things that's happening to you, happening around you. And so sometimes he'll kind of make you have that moment. And you don't know how that's going to manifest. And so I always say either you create it or God does, and you're not always going to like how he do it, you know? And so writer's block, creating consistent journaling habits. I would say my biggest thing is when I'm feeling really emotional, when I'm feeling kind of all over the place, honestly, that's the best time for me to write. It's the best time for me to write because I can get all of these things out at the same time while I'm feeling it. The consistency has to come in of when you do things when you don't want to do them. Doing the journaling when you don't feel like journaling, because that's probably when it's going to help you the most. It's going to help release whatever it is the most. It's going to help you process things. And go back and read your stuff. Go back and read it. Um, I know I spoke before about like, setting it, never letting them read it, but you read it because you're going to look back 30 days, 60 days, 2 months, 2 years, and you're going to be like, dang, I don't even feel like that no more. I don't even feel like that no more. I can actually be in the room with this person and not feel that way. Or that doesn't trigger me anymore. If somebody's saying X, Y, and Z about me, I don't even be bothered with it anymore. And so that is the best way to actually see your growth, see those answered prayers in front of you. And I encourage you, make journaling a consistent habit, but it doesn't have to look the way that anybody else wants it to look. It doesn't. Maybe you just couple of lines. Maybe you draw a picture. Make it anything that helps you kind of settle yourself, ground yourself, and get your thoughts and emotions out. And so I want you guys to write a letter to yourself. I want you to write a letter to yourself, and you don't have to do it now. But I do encourage, maybe start the process now. We'll give you guys a few minutes, but write a letter to yourselves releasing all your past burdens, all the things that you've never forgiven yourself for, all the things that maybe is stopping you from progressing, all the things that you feel like is holding you back from your next big thing, all the things that you feel like is burdening your mind, that's on your mind when you go to sleep, that visit you in your dreams, all those things. I encourage you to go ahead and write it, um, and get it out. Get it completely out, whatever that looks like, and put it away. Maybe read it now, but put it away. And I want you to read it 6 months from now. I want you to read it 6 months from now and see if you've grown from it. If it's actually, if that stuff is still burdening you in 6 months. That was kicking my butt, y'all. What about you, Jaysha? What would you say is your advice on actually helping you release things that's troubling you?
Um, Honestly, everything you said, I was sitting here like, ooh, she know too much. Um, but I agree. I think right now I'm in the season of um external. So I've been working on like the colors. Like right now on my pages, I'm trying to do like a color series. Everything's business related, y'all. It just has to be. But trying to make sure that I'm showing up in the colors that make me feel better.
Mm-hmm.
I know for myself, especially during that time with my son first being born, it was sweats, leggings, black. like that's it. That's all I had. And I've started getting to the point where I'm like, okay, I am feeling bad at the fact that I no longer dress the way I used to. You know, you always look at your old pictures like, ooh, wait until I get back to her. She's gone. She's not coming back. I'm sorry. But this new person I'm trying to create in myself is still connected to her, but how can I do it in the way that suits my life? I need pockets. I need a
Yep.
bag. I need, I need tennis shoes, probably 8 times out of my
Amen
day.
for the pockets.
You
I
know,
love
like
it. I love a good dress with pockets, man. It
that's
make my whole
it.
day.
Hey, hello.
Make my whole day better.
It does.
It
But
does.
we can start looking at it like, okay, we're getting old. I
Yeah.
can't be this spunky girl anymore. Not over here. We're trying to change the narrative. So for me right now, that's where I'm at. I need to get dressed. I need to wear colors that make me look delicious. Okay.
Come
My
on,
husband don't
delicious.
like it, but I'm going to be delicious
Yes.
with my baby. But I think that's where I'm at to release certain things because I know my image has been the biggest thing. I know my husband's tired of me, but I don't feel good, and it's really hard to hold on to that when you start to feel tired, when your body's just like, not today. So yeah, external is where I'm at with releasing my emotions because I think me and internal, we've had enough. But
Yes.
yeah, that's what I
Yes.
got.
I love that. Yes, for sure. For sure. And honestly, I putting clothes on 9 times out of 10 will make you feel a whole lot better. Putting something on that you feel like makes you look good will make you feel so much better in your day. And even if you are tired or whatever's going on, or you just not feeling it, you start to feel it because your clothes, if you look good, you will immediately feel good. It will start to make you feel better. You start checking yourself out in the mirror. For
You
sure.
know it. That's where
Yeah.
you get all the pictures. That's when
Uh-huh.
Instagram start blowing up.
Mm-hmm. You be
Y'all
like,
know
oh, I could
somebody
post
went so
this.
right.
Mm-hmm. For sure. For sure. So
Hey,
show up for yourself every day.
every
Put
time.
some clothes on.
I love it. Thank you, girl. That was absolutely perfect. Does anybody else want to add to how they release their burdens or things that are on their heart? I see it,
I
Lavina.
just,
Okay.
and I'm talking to myself. I mean, I thought I was talking over somebody, but it was Jaleesa because I'm in the same room as Jaleesa. But anyway, I'm going to just share mine. I said, I want to release the truth of that I am enough. That's
Mm.
why I said it's emotional, but I think I'm doing good right now. So, yep, I am enough. To tell myself you are enough and releasing the negative rooted people pleasing, etc. Because I think I got that a lot from people pleasing. I wanted them to be, I guess I wanted to get my value from them instead from myself, right? And then in processing who God says I am, because he is the creator. And I think going back to that root of who he says I am, and then I just love, of course, what Shai was saying about, it's actually starting to kind of put a little fire to why it is important to journal. Because I did write, things that I always like. What I've noticed how I am, even in like my note taking in general, is I write what really takes away and I can draw from to apply. And what I put down for what you were saying is journal before you start your day. And that is so powerful for myself to do because that is where I find myself always holding on to what my day looks like. And that is because we, even though we're joking, so that was a good point, Shai, you said about, even journaling if your husband was too hot last night. Because sometimes I'll wake up and I'll be like looking at him, and I've expressed this to him too by saying, man, sometimes, I expect us to, like when they say, when the Bible says, don't wake up or don't go to sleep mad. Well, I go to sleep mad and wake up mad, right? And so I'll be like, bro, like when I'm with him and I'm like, so I'm thinking like, oh, he gonna, because I'm waiting for him. And then he even told me, he said, well, Bet, why are you waiting for me? Where if you want to love on me or affectionate, but I'm waiting for him to say it is okay, this is a new day. But instead, I'm waiting for him to do it. And so while I wait for him, girl, I'm mad in the morning. I'm on the toilet flicking. It depends on, just doing other stuff to where it does start my day. And my day gets either irritated or it's heavy or is this. But I believe I should journal. I believe that is where I can express myself and say, you know what, last night was this and that and the third. And I don't like how this and that and the third, if it has to deal with my husband, believe it or not. Then I put where you said, journal when you feeling heavy. So that kind of goes into when I wake up, or even if I have a day. I mean, you two know, Jaleesa and Shy, it's been a heavy season for me in these last couple months. So I think if I can at least put that on paper, I think that will show a lot of what I need to process and then grow to and then come back to, so that I can see like, wow, I got over that, because I think that will be able to help someone else. And then the last one, I do want to write that letter. And so I did say write a letter to myself. So I thank you for this again. This has been very grateful. I'm so grateful for this moment, but I needed to release enough, because even though I have amazing friends, family, even my husband that says it, I don't say it to myself enough. And that's why I really would say my truth is releasing that I am enough.
I love that. Hang on, I'm gonna read. Um, my mother-in-law said, after 2 years of living here, I'm releasing and expressing myself in how I'm decorating our home. It may not be the trendy, but it may all be from the Dollar Tree, but it's coming. Reflection of my heart and where I'm at in my life now. I'm sorry, I done jumbled all the last sentences. I love that. And that's so big
Love
too.
it.
I think we jump into it like it has to be luxury. It
No.
has to be crisp and clean, and it's not. Sometimes it's okay because it has to be what we love.
Yep.
And we have the power to control how it looks to other people. So yeah, I may know it's Dollar Tree, but when you see it,
It don't matter.
it don't
It
matter.
don't
You
matter.
wouldn't even know because of how much I love what I did, how
Yeah.
much I love what I created, and the way it's put there. That's this is for me. This wasn't for you. So I love that. Definitely amazing.
Absolutely. I love it.
Okay.
Love it.
Okay, we going on to the next one.
Yeah, you
Any
can
more
go
thoughts?
on to
Okay.
the next one. You can go to the next one.
Okay. You want to start with yours since you are, or you want me to?
Yes.
Okay.
Creating personalized affirmation and reflection exercises. So, I have So I'm starting my own personal newsletter, but I also do a newsletter for a nonprofit. And I started adding in like these affirmations for the month. And guys, I cannot tell you how helpful, even just for me, I ain't gonna lie. I think I did it more for me than the people that read the newsletter. But I in putting those different affirmations out there, you're really setting a tone for yourself. You're setting a tone for yourself. And I credit Jaleesa with this because she's like, you need to tell yourself some positive stuff. Um, but um, but that's so true. If you're not talking good about you to you, the world is not talking good to you about you every day. Every day there's not going to be somebody that's clapping it up for you. So, creating those things, what is it that you want for yourself? What is it that you see yourselves as? When I was working in the restaurant, I had a mentor that told me, you have to dress like the position that you want, not the position you have. And that has stuck with me for my whole life. And I have never let that go. And although I might not be where I need to be or want to be right now, I carry myself like I am. You don't know that I ain't making a couple $1 million a year. I'm never gonna show it. You're always gonna tell you're gonna look at me and be like, oh, she make a couple $1 million because that's how I'm gonna walk in a room. I'm gonna walk in it like I carry it. And so writing that out and into a daily affirmation, saying that to yourself while you're brushing your teeth, saying it to yourself while you're driving. I'm a big like when I drive, it's probably me talking to myself. So I probably look weird to people. I probably look really weird to people, but when I drive or if I'm just getting dressed or something, that's your time to yourself. Speak life over you. Speak life over yourself. And you use personalized affirmations to do it. Whatever it is. My if Miss Allison said that she was getting her house together, my house is amazing. It looks like Better Home and Gardens. Say it. Say it, I have this saying, I am wealthy. It just has not touched my bank account yet. And so it has not touched my bank account yet. But it makes you and creates that mindset for you. So when you're going throughout your day and other things come up, you're able to kind of combat that and hold true to the positive things that you've already said about yourself. Yeah.
I love that. Jaleesa, you mighty quiet. Yeah, I'm calling you out, friend. I know you got something on the affirmation side because you tell me stuff all day long. So I'm grabbing you right now. Come on, tell me your thoughts. How do you manage your personal affirmations? Come on, marketing advisor.
The way that you put me on the spot, I don't know if I like this situation.
You love it.
So affirmations can come in many different forms. And so there are just times where you need different forms. A lot of us are not receptive to the people that's around us because they so close. Oh, you just saying that because you so close. You just saying that because you're my friend. You just saying that because you're my mom, right? So sometimes we do need to turn off the rap music. Sometimes we do need to turn off the R&B music. And I don't know if nobody a fan of Spotify like me, but there's affirmation playlists. And some of them are trash and some of them are good. But it's up for you to create your own with the affirmations that's already created. Because you have the power to change who you are by the words that you put into your mind, your body, and your spirit. So if you need some uplifting, you need some changing, you need some shaping and forming of your mindset, sometimes we have to let go of the things that we love just so that we can take care of us. So there are times where I put down, I'll play jazz with no lyrics. I'll play I won't play a bunch of love music. I won't play a bunch of R&B. I won't play a bunch of rap because I'm trying to change my mindset. I'm trying to focus on what can I pour or what can someone else pour into me that isn't me and that isn't somebody that's so close. So I have created an affirmation playlist on Spotify, and sometimes I'll skip through, or sometimes it's just the things that I need, but you have the power to alter that. And so that's a tool that I use. Another tool that I use is I will go look for positive words and just write them down. And if anybody knows me, if I'm planning an event or taking notes, sometimes I just go get computer paper because there's no lines, there's no restriction. And so I'll just go write down positive words, or I'll listen to a lot of people don't like this, but I'm a TED Talk listener. So I'll go listen to TED Talks, because I know that one thing that I really want to bring out of me is to be able to speak in front of a bunch of people. I tell people all the time, I want to be a next TED Talk speaker. Why? Because I think I could change the world with the things that I say. But in order to keep that same mindset, I got to listen to TED Talks, right? Um, Another thing that I do is I'll listen to um positive speakers. Like in our company, we've had speakers that these are people that, oh, I can trust. Like Grant Cardone. Um I listen to Les Brown. I listen to E.T. Stuff like that, because sometimes I just need somebody to fucking yell at me. That's E.T. He gonna yell at you all day. Is that his intention? No, he just talk like that. But I'm like, well, dang, I guess I gotta get up now because you just yelled at me like you know me and you don't know me. But that's what we need. So I use those things as ways to help pour into me when I need it, because these people ain't close. I can't hit you and I just turn you off, but at the same time, that's being petty, right? So it's all in how you look at it, but it's also seek what you need. Don't run from what you need. Seek what you need. And so we so good, like everybody is trained, like we all go through a system. We go from being held in a carriage in somebody's arms to crawling, from crawling to sometimes running before we walk, and then walking before we run. And so that's our lives, but we get so used to running because it's fast that we don't understand that it takes the time to build ourselves up where we need to start walking again. So those are things that I do. I don't know if that helps.
Oh, it does. We gonna loop back. I felt like that was a shot, Shy. I don't know how you felt about it, but we gonna yell at you, okay? You can't avoid us. We here. We in this together. Love you, friend. No, that was amazing. I think I love to hear everybody's experiences with it. More so for myself, Shy. So I definitely understand what you're saying. It's for me. I'll ask some of these questions because I'm still struggling too. How do you create a quality affirmation that doesn't make you feel like that wasn't for me? You know, like that. Sometimes you really have to understand that. So I appreciate y'all's input. I'm
Yes.
taking my notes.
The best way to create your affirmations is to write out your goals.
Can you give me more?
Yes. So to elaborate, if your goal in the next 6 months, I'm gonna make
Mhm.
50K.
Okay.
That's actually a goal of mine. I'm gonna make 50K in the next, or I have a goal of making 50K in the next month,
Okay.
60 day, 90 days,
Hmm.
whatever it is. I have a goal of um I'm gonna wear X amount of colors within the
Hmm.
day, or I'm
Hmm.
going to smile every day. I'm going
Hmm.
to have peace. I'm gonna, whatever your goal is over the next couple of months, I do it in increments, maybe 30 days, 60 days, 90 days, 6 months. But whatever
Hmm.
your goals are, that can help you shape what your affirmations are, because all your affirmations need to be is you speaking life into a reality that you want to live,
Hmm.
and not giving space to the reality that you may be living that you don't want to live.
Mm,
And
I like
so
that.
and so I started doing this with my husband, with my marriage. I
Mm-hmm.
have the most loving, caring, thoughtful husband who's super romantic. I have the best healthy marriage that is best for me. And you just got to say that every day. That day you might actually get into a fight, but that's okay. That man is thoughtful. He's romantic. He
No, but
is
it's
all of the
true.
things.
No, even in those days, though, I think that's a great example
Yeah.
because it allows you to see the positive, even though it's tough.
Yes, it's tough.
Hey, it's
It's
tough.
tough. And
But
so,
instead of dwelling on it, I like that.
yes, you got to say, hey, I have the most thoughtful, caring, loving husband. Um, I have this thing where if he makes me mad or says something crazy, I'd be like, I just love you. I just love and I be so mad in my head, but to him, I just love you. I don't say anything negative. I say I love you. So it's not reinforcing the negative, it's reinforcing the positive of it, right? And so whatever your goals are, what does your goals look like? Do you have a goal? Maybe we don't. Maybe we don't have goals.
Mm.
Right? But whatever your goal is, and your goals don't have to be financial, it doesn't have to be business related. It could be I'm gonna get up at 6 a.m. in the morning, every morning. One of your affirmations can literally, I'm a 6 a.m. girly. That's it. Like that, it's that simple. It's that simple. Um, yes, yes, I love that. You're getting ready to go to get your LPN. Yes, I'm a nurse in training. I'm training to be a nurse. I
Walk around saying, I am a nurse. Period.
Yeah, say I'm a nurse. I'm a nurse. I'm a
I'm a
nurse.
nurse.
I have this thing in our business and in my office. I talk about my kids so much, people think I have kids. I talk about kids all the time. And so if a new person walks in our office or is around while I'm having a conversation, they always, oh, so where's your kids? I'd love to meet them. I'm like, I ain't got none yet. I don't have none. I don't. But the way in my head I plan for my children. I know what I want their life to look like. I would know what I want to provide for them. And so just speaking that life into the situation, it has no choice but to happen because our minds subconsciously don't know the difference between what's factual and what's not. And so and for us, we're all we see is I just have to make this happen. That's all your mind knows. This is something that we're gonna do, and so I have to do it. And so if you tell yourself I'm a 6 a.m. girly, your mind is gonna find a way to wake your body up at 6 a.m. Eventually, it might not happen next week, it might not happen tomorrow, it might not even happen in 30 days. But eventually you tell yourself you're a 6 a.m. girly enough, you're gonna start waking up at 6 a.m. because your body gonna be like, wait a minute, we're supposed to be waking up at 6 a.m. We're supposed to be up. We're supposed to be doing something. So I would actually hone in and get a little clear and have some clarity on what you want out of life, what you want your life to look like, what you want yourself to look like. I want to be a happy person. I want to be a person that everybody goes to when things get rough, whatever that looks like, have that clarity, have some goals, maybe some type of vision for your life, some type of vision for yourself, and then put those kind of break those goals down to say now have those affirmations for yourself and speak it over your life for sure. Best way to do it.
I love it. Y'all are wonderful. Cause yeah, yeah. I will drop that one right there. Yeah, you got some. Go ahead, please add to it.
I'm sorry. I didn't mean to cut you off, but I was thinking about something. Sha brought up something today, and she has, well, we all have dream boards, right? We all have dream boards. This year I made a dream board, but I also made a word dream board. And so I did this one physical. And so I suggest that if you cannot come up with the words, and my friend helped me with this because I realized that sometimes we cannot see the positive within ourselves. We can't see ourselves. And it's probably because of things that we went through or just mental emotional blockage. We don't know how to tap into it yet. We don't want to. Or we just having a hard time with it. And so what made me think about this was because Sha was saying today, she said, it's time for me to take down my old dream board and put up my new one because I've actually scratched more stuff off than I realized. And so when she was talking just then, I was like, a really good way to find personalized affirmations is to actually do a word dream board. And I know it sounds a little off, but if you go on Amazon and you actually type in like dream board magazines, they have magazines with different types of pictures, cutouts, all of that, but they have ones that just full of words and stickers and pictures, and you literally can just create you a word dream board because it's not you at that point finding the words, is you associating with the words. And so if you feel like I'm not this person, I'm not this word yet, or I don't have this word, then you're able to put it on this board and be able to see it every day. And I met this lady, and she's a doctor. And what she did was she felt really bad about herself. She couldn't come up. She would go into depressive states and she couldn't figure out what to say good about herself. So what she did was she got them big old uh sticky note board contractor things that we used to have like in middle school or something. And they used to stick it on the back of the door and make you write on it. So what she does is she buys those every year. And she sticks it on the back of her door and she just draws circles, like 3 big circles. And what she does is every day she goes to her office, she writes 3 positive words about herself. So it doesn't really have a structure, but it gives her a way to like see it. And she said, if there's a day that I don't have anything, I go and pull up the sheets and read something from previous. Or if I'm forcing myself, again, you do have to push yourself to get out of those spaces. If I'm forcing myself, I'll just rewrite what I wrote yesterday. Because at the end of the day, it's still positive. And sometimes by the end of the day, I got more words. So I say that to say there's no real structure of how to speak positive to yourself or manifest for the future. There's many different ways. You just got to find your way. And I think if you just start with some of the suggestions, you're like, okay, this don't feel right. Just like we were talking about journaling earlier, right? It may not be a notebook to a pen to a notebook. It might be a pen to construction paper. It might be painting. It might be finger painting. But you got to find what you like in order to get the junk out. So you can become that flourishing flower personality, whatever you want to be. And you want to take over the world like Pinky and the Brain. I'm your brain, just want you to know. But but yeah, you're able to use these tools to push forward. So yeah, I say all that to shut up now. Okay, bye.
No, thank you, thank you, thank you. I know everyone is like having to go, so we'll go ahead and wrap it up here. Shy, you already touched on this one, so I'm gonna go ahead and move on. But goal setting, decision making, and manifesting intentions, it all goes into the same thing. That's why the affirmations is tied to it. understand your goals, be able to set them, figure out what it looks like, being clear, so then your healing and your clarity can merge. You can't have clear goals, you can't have honest goals, realistic goals, if you're not emotionally in a space that's going to be honest. But I love that. So the last part is going to be our activity, but it's not going to be now. It's going to be writing a letter to your future self. In September, Audacity Women will be hosting Letters to Her for us to do this. I don't expect you to do it now because we all have a lot of healing and clarity we need to make sure we're ready to deal with before we get to that point. So we're not writing a letter to our future self, still in our present self. So definitely keep that in the back of your mind. September, I will make sure I drop the date. But final thoughts and reflection. I know some of us are gone. I saw the chat. I did screenshot it, so I will make sure I share it on our page. But does anybody have any final thoughts, questions, or just feelings that you want to get out in this journaling space before we go? Mm, mm, mm.
What
I know
would you
everybody.
say, Jay, is the best way to hold yourself accountable to journaling and healing?
Um, that's a good question. I think I can only speak for myself. So right now I have a bunch of reminders on my calendar.
Mm-hmm.
I have a bunch of alarms. And
Mm-hmm.
then I also try to be aware of how I'm feeling. So the
Okay.
same things that you guys said, just being aware of where I'm at mentally, whether it's when I first wake up, I know, okay, let me go write something down. Or even if it's my devotion for my faith, I
Mm-hmm.
try to feed into that as well, because I've had so many times where I'm sitting there like, okay, I listened to this sermon, I heard it, there was a lot of powerful things, but then it doesn't click for me until later. And I'm texting Jaleesa or I'm texting y'all like, oh my goodness, let me tell you what just clicked. So I think for me, it's not trying to set too many standards for it and just being self-aware,
Okay.
while also having standards by having my private check-ins. But yeah, that's my thought. Oh no. Are we back?
Yep,
Coming
we're
back.
back.
Okay.
Didn't
Did
even
y'all hear
notice.
me?
Didn't even notice you were gone.
I saw everybody froze. I'm like, oop, okay, losing him, losing him. Oh God, Julissa, you doing it on purpose? No, but I love that. So that is our event. We had a rough start, but we definitely appreciate everyone that tuned in. If you're watching the recording, this is how you can stay in touch with us. Shy, if you want to share your information with them.
Yes, you can reach out to me via email at shyforresterphp@gmail.com. Call me, text me at my number 530-786-5427. My husband is crazy. Be respectful.
Please.
Um,
We not cut it out the recording, y'all.
You do not play by me, so don't play yourself. Okay.
I love it.
Um, and then all of my social media is Shy Forrester and Shaquila Forrester. So try any of those combinations and I will pop up. If you have any questions about life insurance or anything financial, feel free to reach out. All of my services are free and I just want to help you. So let's, help yourself first.
Yes,
And help the
absolutely.
next person. Help the next person. Don't gatekeep
Yes.
information. Send it to people who you know may need it. And even the ones that you don't, because they don't tell you all their business. So you think they got it together and they probably don't. Send
Mm-mm.
the information to them too.
Most definitely. If anybody is following the Audacity of Women page, Shy is connected there as well. So if you're
Yeah.
searching, she's there as well, so you know for sure which one it is. But most definitely, you can follow everything Audacity of Women at Audacity Women on Instagram, and I believe that's the hyperlink part in Facebook. Audacity of Women is the actual name. I'm on TikTok. You can find my personal page as well for more lifestyle content on the mommy and wife side. We have so many events coming up. Like I mentioned, we have our Letters to Her event coming up in September, but it's tied into our Soft Power series that's going to be September 18th to the 24th. The calendar is available on the website, which I'll show you guys in 1 second here, but we'll definitely dive into that. I'm super excited. Say Magazine issue 3 is going to be dropping September 9th. I'm so ready to see it. I can't wait for you guys to see the final version. I think it's going to be dope. And then another amazing mental health event will be dropping. It's called What's on Your Plate? We're going to put everything on our plate, talk about it a little bit, then we're going to smash it. Okay?
Yes.
Definitely. I'm looking forward to it. So get your white plates together August 24th. So that's next weekend, y'all. Make sure that you're there. If not, we will record it and we'll have a good time. But that is our event. Thank you so much for striving to live absolutely audacious. And if you need us, like I said, everything will be here on the Audacity of Women website. These are all of our past events so far. Yes, Audacity keychain. Anything, everything is here. All of our events. So if you scroll through, you see what's going on. Y'all, my connection's about to be crazy because this storm is hidden. But everything about Shy that we shared is here. So you have her contact information. And like I said, all the upcoming events. Catch us, okay? So we look forward to meeting with you guys in the next event. Thank you so much. Bye.
Bye, guys.
Bye. Bye.